Hi there, Pog Jams. I'm sorry. I did not see you come in. I was just finishing up my my research for the Honkai Star Rail. Yeah. Honkai. Yeah. Ooh, we love Honkai. We're in Pog City. Well, now that I got you here, let's go over some of the lore and pictures MiHoYo has been sharing on their Twitter account, shall we? Now, Belobog is a city built upon a frozen tundra as a final bastion against the eternal freeze. It is a land blessed by Palmia. I don't know how to say that name, so that is the best you will be receiving. Every other civilization was frozen in time, leaving Belobog as the last city. Belobog is split into two sections, the Overworld and the Underworld. Cue the spooky lightning thunder crash sound effects. Think of this as a Final Fantasy VII situation. The rich and affluent people live above ground while the poor and desolate live below. There is also a clear dynamic here, which could be the reason why they decided to use the word world when describing the two lands. They are so different in tone and architecture that it is only reasonable to believe that, upon traveling between the two places, you are traveling between worlds. Now, we've gotten a snippet of the architectural differences through short articles, so let's go over them right now. First is the Plaza Sculpture located in the Overworld. It is a large gear-like mechanism that has giant pieces of ice frozen to it. It is supposedly a sign of their conquering over the eternal freeze, but I'm not so sure about that. You could say the gear symbolizes time, due to the nature of the eternal freeze and how it has been described as sealing human civilization in time, and the ice is obviously a symbol of the eternal freeze. But why would they basically be making a frozen clock as a symbol of Belobog? To me, that seems to defeat the purpose. If anything, their symbol should be a moving clock surrounded by ice, since they are still moving while surrounded by eternal freeze. It's possible that it is moving since all we see are still images, but it's just something to think about. Another question is, what blessings are they talking about? There are several times that they refer to blessings and protection without referring to who gave them said blessings and protections. Was it Palmia or some other entity entirely? Is it just a superstition, or do these blessings actually do something? It's hard to tell since all we are going off of are articles less than 100 words long, so just keep this in mind if any one of you are lucky enough to get beta access. Looking back, I see that it says that the land was blessed by Palmia, but we still have no idea what the blessings do, who Palmia is, what her intentions are if she is still alive, and if she is also one that gave the protection against the eternal freeze. It was also stated that Palmia blessed the land in a section that could be interpreted as rumors. The section states as follows. Belobog has been given many noble titles. The last bastion of humankind against the eternal freeze. The land blessed by Palmia. Could this just be what the people are led to believe, or is actually factual? Let's move on, since this is all if, ands, or buts, and there's no actual way of us being able to answer these questions. But first, a word from our sponsors. That's right, it's nobody. Other than that subscribe button, baby. But back to the content. Next up is the console residence. Note that we are never really going to the residence in the picture. It's more of an outside view rather than an in-depth one. This could mean one of two things depending on how the open world works. This could mean that it shows you walking towards this area, and upon going in a certain amount it will teleport you to a new instance, maybe inside of that massive mansion floating above all the others. Or it could be story spoilers, so they're only showing off a far off picture of it. This area is where the higher ups live, who make all the rules. Now, it seems some of the questions we have just a moment prior have already been answered in this post. They label Palmia as their protector now, so it's safe to say that Palmia is the, in Genshin terms, Archon of this world. It says that the consul have inherited Palmia's willpower following her decrees, which sounds like Palmia probably died to protect Belobog from the Eternal Freeze. But I guess we'll just have to find out, as many things we'll have to find out, as you'll see. Another interesting thing that I noticed is that a little character by the name of Geppard. The way that this character looks, it seems like he's a part of the consul, as well as his sister. Here's a snippet of the story if you haven't read it yet, or watched my video, which will be popping up at the top right. An upright and noble captain of the Silvermane Guards who bears the name of the age-old Geppard family. In the blizzard-battered city of the Belobog, defense is much more challenging than attack. Geppard and the Silvermane Guards he leads serves as the unbreakable iron defense of the Union in this hostile world. Sometimes he is ridiculed by his sister and aide for his ever-scrupulous manner, but no one can deny that the people of Belobog have been able to maintain peace and comfort even with this eternal winter on its doorstep. Now that we are done with the overworld, let's talk about the underworld. The first stop on our discussion is the Sevarog Mansion. Sound familiar? That's okay, because it will. But before we talk about the mansion, let's get a little bit better of an understanding of what the underworld really is. So, the underworld is a place beneath the overworld that has various old relics and architecture from before the Eternal Freeze. There are limited ways to enter and exit the underworld. Well, only really one way, by getting on one of the cable cars and riding it up top. There's also a legend that says when the Eternal Freeze entombed the world, fissures of the fragmentum eroded reality into the underworld. No clue what the fragmentum is or how it eroded reality, but my best guess is that it's the giant thing in the middle of the underworld. No clue what it's meant for though. Now that we have a basis, let's talk about the mansion. The mansion is the grandest house in all of the underworld, the home of the prospectors. It's not very clear what the prospectors do, but after Sevarog came into ownership of the mansion, the prospectors have called each other family. It's a tight-knit group of people relying on each other all because of a single girl's wish. It is unknown whose the mansion belonged to before, but hopefully all will be revealed when the game releases. Who's this girl, you might ask? Well, to find out, we have to look at the character list once again. Clara, also known as a blood rabbit, can be seen with a large robot. The robot's name is none other than Sevarog, the owner of the mansion. When Clara found the robot and awoken it from its slumber, the robot asked the little girl a single question. "What do you wish for the most?" And the girl replied, "A family." This explains a lot about why Sevarog brought the prospectors together and calls themselves a family. It is to fulfill the wish of the girl who reactivated him. I do have a few questions though. Is the robot sentient? It's possible that the robot is following a protocol issued by the girl rather than doing it in order to help her, but it's unclear at this moment how much free will Sevarog has. The final character that was mentioned being from Belobog was a girl named Selly. Or Seely. I guess Seely. I'll keep this brief since there isn't a lot to go off of with her. She's characterized as a loner from the underworld with no purpose other than survival. She's also apparently hiding some sort of truth about her family, but little is known about that at this point. All we know is that when a little girl appeared before her, something changed. This girl could be Clara, or somebody else entirely, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's everything we have to go off of at this moment of recording this. It seems that they have a pretty strong idea of what they want to go with the story and how they want it all to piece together. Hopefully the gameplay can match their level of storytelling. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope y'all like the new sort of style I'm going with. It's going to be more edited out and skitty and stuff, and I'm going to be writing my scripts. So if you like that, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, my bog jams. Johnny.
Shine, a foreign share could us run.